Hi, my name is Cintia, and I'm Bryce's friend, and I think he wants the interview to ask a few questions about how to raise multilingual kids.
Yes. So, first of all, about you. What languages are you able to converse in?
Okay, you know better. Poorly, not poorly, depends of what you. I think Spanish, Italian,
Yes.
and English.
And
Well, I love German, but I haven't spoken German in such a long time, and I really like it, but just matter of not practicing enough, I suppose.
her German's great. She's lying to you.
And I love French too.
And how did you learn these languages?
I was born in Peru, so I learned Spanish just because it's my mother tongue, and Italian. My dad is second, third generation Italian, so and he named us all Italian names, so I kind of had a passion for learning my language, my family's language, and then I went to a school where we were pushed to learn Italian, so that's how I learned Italian. And then my family moved to US, so I learned English that way. And when I was 19, I went to Germany, and I fell in love with Germany and everything about Germany. And I had to learn it.
I'm starting to love the German culture.
I love the
Sorry,
German culture.
Italian friends, but the Germans are doing some things right.
It's not only the culture, but also the people.
So she has experience learning through immersion and through study. So she understands
Self-studying, yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
She also has a daughter, Victoria. She has two daughters, actually. First, we'll talk about Victoria. Her daughter, Victoria, speaks Spanish, Japanese, and English. So how did you teach her these languages? You don't speak Japanese.
No, I don't. The Japanese came as finding a really good. We were looking for a German school or a Spanish school, daycare for this, and we couldn't find something that really called and said, yes, this is the perfect fit for our family and for Victoria. But we found this Japanese school and this preschool, and it was really fabulous, very organized. They have a really good curriculum. I know we're talking about preschool, daycare center, but it was still, I needed something to be organized, clean, and this school had it all. So we took Victoria there, and they warned us, this is full Japanese. It has to be full Japanese. So if you guys don't speak Japanese, you guys gotta have to deal with it. So I said, fine, we'll went with it head first. So we just did it that way, and somebody from that school was leaving, so they asked if we wanted her as a nanny, and we always needed nannies. So we kept her number, we called her. So Victoria will go to the Japanese full immersion Japanese school 1, 2 to 3 days a week, and Naoko, the teacher,
nanny.
tutor, nanny,
Yeah.
she will come. She will be at our house for every other day, or actually she did about 50-60 hours a week in our house.
Really?
Yes, and she will basically speak only Japanese to Victoria. So Victoria was getting the Japanese via the nanny and the school, and in order to support that learning, we will have, or I still do have, only Japanese music in the car. Well, I have Japanese and French in the car, and her books are in Japanese, Spanish, and English, and French, of course. French is something that is coming up. She started when she was 2 years old. We have not been full force with it because our priority is Japanese, because she goes to Japanese school. Anyways, that's how Japanese started, via the daycare. Then she moved to every day. When she was 4 years old, every day she will go to this preschool, and then she merged into elementary school, so kindergarten, and now she's in first grade with this full immersion Japanese school.
Why Japanese?
I don't see why not. I really think that cultures are beautiful. Every culture is unique on its own, and Japanese culture is, there is so much to learn from that culture. And one thing that is very interesting, in Peru we have a huge Japanese population,
Really?
and nobody knows that. But yes, we do. And I actually went to school in Peru, and one of the elementary schools in Peru was in a Japanese temple. So that's
I
how.
had no idea.
Yes. So there is a lot of Japanese, and I used to love going to the Japanese. Like here we have Chinatown, we have Japanese town in Peru. So yes, it's I love their culture, and I say why not? So yeah, it's just one more language to enjoy, one more culture to be a part of, I think.
What's been the hardest part of raising Victoria with 3 languages?
Keeping up with all of them and all the cultural events for all 3 languages.
So just culturally is the biggest thing?
Yes, I am a big believer that you're not only introducing the language, but you're introducing the culture.
I
So-
totally agree.
So I think that not only buying the books and the music in that particular language that you're teaching, but also taking them to the events, any event for that particular language. And I do take her to all the events, and she loves them. I love them. I learn so much. We all enjoy it. But keeping up with the books in 3 languages, the music in 3 languages, every activity in all 3 languages, it's time consuming. It requires a lot of balancing and a lot of patience.
Yeah, sure. I look up to you so much. It's extremely impressive what she's done with Victoria. Now, Victoria's, if you had to rate her languages, which one would be her most comfortable?
She says that she loves her Spanish, and she that's the one that she loves the most, and perhaps that's the one that she speaks more comfortably. I don't know, because she speaks to me in Spanish, but then she's doing very, very well in her Japanese. I think if
So probably Spanish and then Japanese and English.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's extremely impressive. Do you plan to raise Valentina
The same way.
the same way? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you have to, right?
Yes, I was 6 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant, and I went to the Japanese school and asked for a
Did you
waiting
really?
list. I already did. I had to. They were already full all the way until 2018. So her starting time is September 2018. Yes.
What?
I'm not kidding.
I need to get on it.
Yes. It's like that. The good schools for different languages, like they fill out quick.
That's crazy. Do you have general tips for other parents who want to raise their kids bilingual or trilingual?
Multilingual. In general, yes. My tip is two or three things. Okay. Number one, you will definitely have to be persistent and consistent. If you speak to your child and say, in my case, Spanish only, I do not mix with Italian, I do not mix German, nothing. I am consistent with my Spanish, and that's number one. It's Friday night, you have a full-time job, you have a house to take care of, the family to schedule everything for. It's Friday night, you're super tired. Don't give up. Continue on teaching just the one language that you teach. Continue on speaking to them in that language, because if you fall from that and you all of a sudden start speaking English to that child, they're gonna say, okay, it's okay for me to do the same. So they stop forcing their brains to think on that language and to converse on that language and to look for the words that they wanted to say and bring it out from the back of their brain. So that would be number one. Number two is music, videos. Victoria, if she wants to watch a movie, it has to be in Japanese. There is Disney in Japanese, by the way, and
Disney in every language.
there is
I
Disney in
think.
every language. Yes, my dear. So I do that, and in Spanish, what do we do in Spanish? I buy her books in Spanish, so I read to her in Spanish, but she reads to Valentina in Japanese.
She does?
She does.
That's adorable.
I have to pay $2 for that, okay? Per
That's
book.
one of her chores.
That's what. It's not a chore. If she wants to make money, I pay $2 per big book and $1.50 for a small book. And
That's amazing.
I mean, she's making money, and I'm saving money from tutoring for Valentina, right?
So what I learned when we started being friends is that it's really a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have to change your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I know so many people who have tried this and failed. And so when I met you and you succeeded, I was like, how did you do this? And she's changed her life. And that's the only way to do it.
Yes.
And those of you who are learning a second language, if you don't know this yet, that's the only way to learn a language. You have to change your life. Doing 30 minutes of an app per day will get you very, very little. You'll never be conversational. You might learn some phrases, but to actually get where you start to think in the language,
You have to head
it's
first, dive
culture,
in.
it's music, it's
Yes.
movies, it's speaking, it's making friends, it's
Making
all that
friends.
stuff.
Immerse yourself, Linda. The other thing that I caution people a lot when they start this multilingual program for their children, and my sister told me this, and one of my best friends, thank you guys for that, by the way. 3 years old, they're gonna start pushing back because at 3 years old they start
Yeah,
going to
you told me that.
they start going to daycares, they start meeting new friends, and their friends only speak English or they only speak Spanish, so they start pushing back on the additional languages. And you can tell them that it's okay that their friend speaks this language, but you also speak these other languages, and you have to persist and persist. They are gonna want to speak to you in only English and not speak anything else. But you have to say, no, I appreciate when you speak to me in my case, Spanish. Or I love it when you make an effort to speak to me in Spanish, and just persist and persist. 3 years old is over, and then you have a 7-year-old period, and they start pushing again because they meet new friends. Now it's in elementary school or whatever. So they start pushing back again. So it's a second period where you have to be prepared for if you really want to succeed.
I listened to a blog, well, it's for learning German with Jenny, and she talks about how when she was a kid and she moved to the U.S., she wouldn't let her parents speak to her in German because she was embarrassed. So is it kind of like that? Was she embarrassed about you speaking to her in another language?
When she was 3 years old, I think that was the case. But another thing that was very was good and that worked a lot was to introduce her to friends whose parents also speak Spanish, and to kids who are multilingual.
Yeah.
They appreciate. Oh, and one day Victoria saw Dora, the cartoon.
Yeah.
And when she was 2.5 or 3, and she saw that Dora spoke both languages, it really caught her attention that, oh, this is normal. This is okay.
That's really cool.
Yes, and when they see other kids that are like them, it really appeases them. So I think it's very important also to meet other kids that speak that other language, so they can not only converse and have friendship with them, but also that they can see that it's okay to speak this other language.
That's awesome. So I guess main takeaways are going to the events, doing a lifestyle change,
Yes.
and finding other people who are teaching their kids this language,
Yes.
or who are natives in that language, and being persistent.
And persistent.
Right.
You have to persist.
Because it's hard. I've been doing it with Atlas, and if you follow me, you know that. I'm trying to teach him Italian, and I'm not a native Italian, so it's extremely difficult, and I want to give up all the time. But because I have
Friday
friends,
night.
exactly, I have
Friday
friends like
night's so tired.
Cynthia that keep me going. So find people who keep you going, and
Yeah. And you push each other after all.
yeah. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.